Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome back to another scripture journal week for our heart journey. And this week, our scripture comes straight from this stamp set. I have to tell you, sometimes God talks to me in very unusual ways. But here's the thing. This set has been on my mind so much. And the trees are all blooming with flowers, and all the dogwood trees in my neighborhood are blooming. And let me tell y'all, I absolutely love white birch trees, but my second favorite tree I take that back. In the wintertime, white birch trees are my tree. In the spring, every time I see a dogwood, it just reminds me of the resurrection, because of the legend of the dogwood, I'm sure, but it's just that time of year, and I just know what that reminds me of. And so I thought, let's do some flowers. We all need to bring that out, right? And this scripture right here says, not every seed falls on good soil. This is the one I'm going to use. Couple reasons. There is still, what's so interesting to me, there are still some trees in my neighborhood that have no leaves on them, and they still kind of look not dead, but they look worse for wear. And then there are these beautiful flowers just blooming around them. And I think, that's what the world is like. We're going through seasons in our lives, and it may be winter for some of us, but it's spring for someone else, or it's summer for somebody, and all those seasons mean something different. But we're all held by the same loving hands of the Father. And this, not every seed falls on good soil means totally different probably, and I could take it a whole different way. But not every seed is in good soil at all times. And sometimes it falls on bad soil, and then, someone can plant it in a different way and turn it into something else. And I don't know. I'm just thinking we're kind of all in these seasons. And since it's blooming so pretty, I want to use this set. By the way, I didn't even tell you, this is from my friends at Joy Claire. Let me bring this in so you can see it. They are joyclaire.com. And now my friend Edith at scrapbookingwithme.com is also carrying their stamps. So if you don't see what you're looking for on joyclaire.com, go check out Scrapbooking with Me, or vice versa, and see if you find the stamp set you're looking for. And I want to play with this set. Ever since I saw it, maybe not ever since, but I laid eyes on it for like the third time this week, this set. It just kind of kept staring at me. And I was like, I just love you, because we can do so much with this set. So I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I've been asked a lot lately what ink to use with alcohol markers. This is the one, Memento ink. This is a fade-resistant dye ink, and that's what I'm going to use my alcohol markers. Now, of course, you don't have to have this particular stamp set to do this journal page. Just start to doodle on your page. Just pick it up. Think of some flowers you might want to draw. Think of what the season means to you and do it. Or pull out all those stamps you have that are spring related or flower related and just go to town on your page. Now, I'm going to do some flower pots from the page, and I'm going to color them and cut them out, but I thought I'd do it this way first. And I also want to color, let me clean this stamp real quick. I also want to color this watering can. And because I know me and I kind of mess things up a lot of the times, I'm going to stamp it a couple times on this page, maybe even 3 times, so I can color it, and then if I mess up, I'll have it. I don't think I'm going to do any fancy shading or anything. I'm just going to color. I'm going to start with this one. This is GB10 from Spectrum Noir. Now this color is EB5, so it's going to be darker. This color is CR10. This is going to be an orange color. I think this will be kind of cool, kind of terracotta-ish. This color is TN8, another brown. And then I think I'm going to do another orange one. I really like how that one looks, so I think I'm going to do another orange pot. For the watering can, I'm going to do BT7. I think this will be really cute, and I hope I get it right the first time. So we'll see. I'm actually maybe going to use 2 different colors on this one. On the inside, I'm using FS2, just for a little color in there. It's kind of a pale tannish pink. And I don't think I need to color these, so I'm going to cut these out white, but I'm not going to color them, then I can use them later. So I'm going to run this through the scan and cut. Oh, first I got to color this grass. Almost forgot. Now for this dirt inside the pot, I'm using another color. It's a dark kind of olive green. It is DG3. And I just think that kind of dark green is good instead of just doing brown. Okay, so I'm going to take these to the Brother Scan and Cut and let it cut them out. So I know how much you guys enjoy seeing the Scan and Cut in action, so I thought I'd bring you over to the machine. I've loaded my cardstock onto the mat, and I'm going to press Scan. I'm going to press Direct Cut. Now you could do this and save it into your computer, but I don't need to. I'm just using this for this one project, so I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to press the Tools and choose Color, because I've already colored these images, and say OK. And now I'm going to tell it to scan. Now the Scan and Cut has scanned in all the images, and I'm going to tell it that I want to move this frame in a bit, just so we're getting rid of some of that background we don't need on the mat. And tell it OK. Now it's recognizing the paper, and it's kind of paying attention to the only part I told it to pay attention to. And now we are ready to cut. So I'm going to say OK. I could, if I wanted to, click here and add a border to the images, but I decided because of the way I'm using these, I want to cut them out exactly. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to say OK and tell it to cut and start. Now I happen to know that my blade needs to be set to 5, so I did that ahead of time. But if you have a Brother Scan and Cut, you might want to do a little test to see what your blade depth needs to be, but I know that works for my cardstock. We're finished cutting. I'm going to unload the mat, and I'll show you what we got. I'm going to remove the outside paper, and look at this. All of our perfectly cut out little water pitchers and flower pots. Let's take them back over and finish our page. So here we go. Here's all of our little pieces cut out. Now the other thing I like to do, and I like to do this with anything, but I want to show you how well this cuts out. Let me just pick up one of these guys and show you. You can see that I have a very tiny, just minuscule white edge showing at the bottom. So what I do to clear that up is I just take kind of a chubby ended black marker and just run it around the edges. You've seen this before. You would do this even if you fussy cut it yourself, just to make all the lines seem kind of seamless. And then you have a perfectly done little flower pot. So I'm going to attempt to make like a little table. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We're just going to see. I'm just going to take some scissors, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the top, just a little edge out like so. And then I'm going to cut down. I'm doing this just in my brain, seeing if I can make this work. Let me cut this away real quick. And then I'm going to take this and make this kind of like a table leg. So I'm going to cut this straight up here, like so, and then meet this to it. Now I could just see this in my head, so I just kind of did that. I think that will kind of look like a table on our page, like so. And then I'm going to put some flower pots on it, maybe one down here under it. I'm also going to put this little watering can on the table. We can have our scripture. I think this may work. Let's see what we get. So I'm just gluing this little table, using the term loosely, here on this edge. I just want the feel of a little table, just like that, like something you'd have out in your shed or in your garden. And then I think I'm going to see how these flowers will look, maybe some coming up out of the ground on the bottom too. That will be cute. All right, let's see. What pots do I want to put up top? I think I'll put this one here, and then this, nope, not that one. It's the same color, so let's do this one. And then let's just do 2 up top. So I glued this one without thinking, and I need to put the flowers behind it, so I'm gonna see if I can pick it up really fast. Not perfect, but I'll be able to cover that up. Do not stress about that. I'm going to put these little flower stems on my block and ink those up. For this part, I'm using my VersaFine because I'm not coloring these stems. I'm going to leave them like they are. So pick that up, and I'm just going to stamp them kind of in this area so I can put the flowers at the top. Now I can glue this back down. I just wasn't thinking ahead. I got so excited about my little flower pots, I was ready to move on. To cover our little mess up area back up, and no one will know. Don't tell anybody. It's our secret. So there's that little flower pot, super cute. Now I'm gonna glue this one down, but not first. I'm gonna put some stems in there. I think I'm gonna use the other ones for this one. So for this flower pot, I'm gonna use the little stems that actually have the flowers already on them. And let's see where I wanted this one was somewhere like here. So I want to stamp these about like this. That'll be cute. Perfect. So now I can glue this one down. This would be so cute on a card where you could use some dimension, because this is going in my journal. I don't want to have it very thick, but if you could put some dimension on these pots, it would be super cute. Now let's work on the ones for down here. I think I want one right here, so let's go ahead and do the flowers for it. I think I'm just going to do the stems. So I've got this bigger flower that I'm going to put down at the bottom right about here. Something like that. And then it'll have a little flower pot here. Oh, that's perfect. I love that. That's cute. And then let's do another one. I'm going to put this other flower pot in the corner right to the edge, and I'm not going to have these flowers stick out as far. I'm going to have them be kind of low. So just stamp them like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to put this guy in so that they look a little shorter than the rest, and that way you can like have height where you want it. I think I've decided I want this little flower pot to be kind of up in the air like this. Maybe like that, and then I might even put some little water droplets coming out of it. Now I'm going to take that very pale FS2 that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to go around the edges of these pots just to give them a little shadow, just so they don't look so stark, like they're just sitting there. And this is going to kind of draw all these images into the page and make it make a little more sense. I'm going to do the same thing with the table. And I'm going to do it on here as well, just to give some shade to the flower pot so that they make sense on the table they sit on. Do a little around the edges of the table. I could have inked the table, but I just thought it'd be kind of different to do it like this. I totally was not thinking, and I stamped these in VersaFine ink. So I'm going to have to be super careful when I color those so that they don't smear. But I can use the memento for these flowers now that I have remembered it. And I'm just going to grab some more flowers off of the stamp and put them on the stems. This is cute how you can build your own. Super cute. Now, where do I want to put my scripture? I was kind of thinking here or here. Don't know. I think I kind of like it here because I think I'm going to have water coming out of that. So I think that'll be kind of cute. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just playing. But I love these stamps where we can just kind of make things up. Just make our own scenes. I think that's super cool. So there's the scripture. And then let's color these flowers. Have to be real careful, like I told you, because I used the wrong ink. So I'm just going to be real careful and fill in and not smear. Then I want to do this kind of water that I'm talking about, and I'm going to use this glittery pen and just kind of do it like this, coming out like it's spraying. I'll start with the glitter pen, and then I think I'm going to do some dots. And there you go. I really kind of like it. It's simple. It's very clean. It's not too many colors or any inking or anything like that. I just like it. I think it's fun, and that was a fun one to do. So now all I need to do is put this into my scripture art journal. I cannot wait to see how you guys do your scripture journaling this week. Who knows what you'll bring out? You may even have a completely different interpretation of "not every seed falls on good soil" from Luke 8:5. But I'm anxious to see what you do. If this is the first time you've ever joined us for our scripture art journaling, head over to our Facebook page, which is called Hide His Word in My Heart. There's a link below. Get involved with us. See what everybody's doing and making, and be inspired. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.